Hello my friends, my name is Patty and please feel very welcome to this video that is going to be a pick a card reading. So I'm very excited about this because I've always wanted to do one, and right now I have as an ally my Cosmic Tarot cards. Both of them I'm gonna link below, so in case you are interested in the decks. And this one are my Sacred Geometry cards. So they're both very important decks to me, and I'm very excited to share them with you. So let's start the important part of this, and feel free to pause it at any moment. The timestamps for every pile are down below. Hi, welcome to the most important part of the reading, which is when you pick your card. I say this is very important because in order for it to work, you're gonna have to be very present with me here. You have to listen to your intuition. So for this, we're gonna first take a very deep breath. And remember our intention, which is, what do I need to heal right now? What part of my life is waiting for me to heal, is ready for me to heal? So please concentrate on that question, and then when you're ready, choose whatever pile you feel most guided to. So the timestamps are ready for pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. I'll see you there. Pile number 1, welcome to your space. This is a space just for you, and I'm gonna set right now these two cards to the side as we get into the tarot. So let's see what's going on in your life, what you need to heal. Okay. Oh, so the Tower. Okay, yeah. This is a very this is a very challenging card, but don't freak out because it's actually one of my favorite cards too. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like this is definitely some people call they actually use this term, like the Tower, to say like, oh, I'm going through a Tower moment, which are moments of your life when everything seems like it's tumbling down. But the good news of the Tower, this is a good news that always comes with this card, is that the things that are falling down are all things that are not very essential, and are things that are actually not just like making an obstacle for your path. You know, there are things that at some point they were gonna fall down. So this is normally like, that's what this is representing, you know, like the eye of the truth and of clearance is just like clearing away everything that is just a construct inside of you. So I would say that part of, like, in the context of your healing, this could either mean that you are going right now through a moment like this, a very challenging moment where everything seems like it's falling down, that you're very confused about what's going on. Or this could be something that recently happened, you know, that you went through a Tower moment and now you find in a situation where you want to begin to heal what happened. So from just from this card, this is what I can tell, that that there's definitely like a Tower energy going on. But let's see what else this has to do with. Okay. The High Priestess. Okay, this is starting to make a little bit of sense. So what I can tell here from the High Priestess, like just being like right next to the Tower, I would say that this could either be the energy that triggered the Tower for you, or the Tower could be triggering the High Priestess inside of you. So I'm gonna give a little bit of context to the card. So there's a card that talks about like kind of like occult knowledge. It talks about the subconscious. So I can definitely tell that because of this Tower moment, or because of there's a lot of like subconscious energy surfacing, like there's a lot of things that you're realizing right now, it could have torn down many illusions that you had, or the tearing down of illusions is making you be able to tap into this energy that was once very subconscious for you, but is very powerful and very, it has even like a mysterious, so you could be maybe even getting a little bit into the occult now because of everything that's going on. But this is definitely like, these are all major arcana cards, so these are all like, you can know for sure that whatever you're going through is completely part of your path, completely part of your journey, no matter how tough it looks like right now. This is something that you need to go through, right? Because this is also a very beautiful card, you know, like it's about the balancing of the opposites. So you could also be tapping into maybe a different point of view that you hadn't considered before, and now you're more open to it. So it definitely looks like it looks like this is gonna be a very important part of your healing, to integrate these two energies, right? To trust the intuition that is coming off right now because of your Tower moment. So other than that, the Four of Swords, other than that, I see that this seems to be like a resting period for you, okay? So here, from this context, I can, like, the people in the Four of Swords here are just like laying down their swords. They're ready to rest. They're ready to stop fighting. So maybe you've been going through a period where there's been a lot of conflict, and maybe you're tired of that conflict, you know? Like, so definitely the advice I see from this card is to kind of lay down your sword a little bit. Like, try to, like, be mindful if you're being a little bit too defensive and seeing like the bad in people a lot, because this is also a card of that, you know? Like, taking another perspective into things that you usually see as wrong or bad. Like, maybe you've been seeing it in a different light. And I also see that this is a card of maybe like getting together with like-minded people, getting together with your friends. Like, Tower moments are always very challenging, especially if there's a lot of like new knowledge coming along with it. So it's always helpful to talk to people who maybe have gone through similar things, or that are not gonna judge you for all the different things that you're gonna, because I would say that like all the High Priestess knowledge can be a little confusing. So it's always good to have like a group of people who you can be discussing all these new ideas, you know? So that is what I see from this card. But okay, the Star. This is also one of my favorite cards. This card has a lot of Aquarian energy, and it's a card about positivity and optimism. So either like, since this is in the context of your healing, maybe you've struggled to find like optimism and positivity to your life. I would say that this is very related to the Tower things you're going through right now. Like, there were a lot of constructs that you had in your mind about who you are, about how the world works, that were kind of like blocking your ability to be like, to see the light, to be positive. So I see that right now, like, all of this process that you're going through is actually gonna help you to finally like reach that, you know? The Star is usually very associated with guidance, so you're probably also gonna find like, either you're gonna find guidance or you're not gonna need it you're not even gonna need it, you know? Because you're gonna understand like what your path is. You're gonna feel like you know how to get where you need to get, right? So this is all a process that, to be able to integrate as part of your healing, there's gonna need to be like a different taking a different attitude, you know, I would say. But these are all like cards that seem to be having like a very like straightforward narrative, you know, like, and definitely something positive. So I see that maybe you are going through a very, very tough time, but definitely do not worry, because things seem to be pointing that these are all things that you had to go through at some point, and the fact that you're going through them right now already is already so like, it's great news, you know? Like, this is a card about good news. This is a card about positivity. So I would really not be afraid. Like, I understand that right now it feels like a very tough situation, because that is what this card is saying. But at the same time, I would say, like, don't be scared. Like, this seems like, I don't see anything like too weird happening. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. So with these cards, like, it could either be you, like, this could be representing you, or this could be representing one of your ancestors or one of your guides, right? So this energy that has to do with being closer to the earth. and everything that has to do with it. So health is also a major theme of this. Like maybe you're finding out things about your, I would say that, yeah, maybe you're finding things about your health that have been not going so great, or that are maybe like tumbling down in some way. Or this could also talk about finances. The tentacles tend to talk about like money and finances, but this person is a queen, you know? So like, again, I see that maybe what you need right now could be to tap into this, like, you got it, you know, like, you know what's best. You're the queen when it comes to this. So I would say that even though you're going through like major changes when it comes to your relationship, in some way, either to like physical healing to the earth, or finances, like all the green stuff, you're gonna be able to overcome it. But let's get more context when it comes to this, because I'm a little bit confused as to what exactly it's referring to. Okay, so the Six of Wands. Okay, so this is a card about, oh, okay, this makes a little bit more sense now. So this is a card about like being able to tame the lion. So, and this is a sign of Jupiter. So there's like a lot of Jupiter energy with abundance and everything that has to do with that. So it's also kind of like a card of completion and being able to tame. So you're gonna be like maybe all of these like very, very strong dark energies that are presenting in your life, like they are kind of like the lion in this picture, right? Like in the beginning you might be scared, but then you're gonna be able to just like get along with the lion in your life. You know, you're gonna be able maybe not tame it, but not be scared of it. So I would say that maybe a very beneficial energy to tap into to get to this point would be to channel the Queen of Pentacles. She is very organized, you know, and she values like beauty, but beauty could also be like maybe you like have a very like maybe you're living in a very like disorganized environment right now, and that's kind of like also obstructing you and making you seem and making you feel like there's even more going on. So I would say like definitely tap into her guidance, like ask for help. As I said, she could even represent an ancestor or a spiritual guide. So she's definitely an energy that is already in your life, but you just need to like ask her for help or like tap into her, you know? In the world, see, like everything's gonna be fine. Like I emphasize this because I know that you're probably going through a very, very difficult and major thing, but I just want you to know that everything's gonna be okay. You know, like this is, as I've been saying, like this is also a card that talks about like this is meant to be. Like this is what's gonna happen anyway. So you are going through it right now, and that makes you like a very strong person, you know? So I'm very proud of you for being able to handle all of this, and just know that you're guided, you know? You have like, you can have hope in this situation. You're gonna be able to master this. And this is what I can tell from this reading. So after this, you're definitely gonna like complete a part of your life. You're gonna finish a phase of something, and this is definitely something that had to happen, you know, like it was like meant to be in a way. Okay, so as your other cards I have here is the Indian Shaman. So this is this is so beautiful. Okay, so what I can tell from here, so shamans are people who through darkness are able to tap into many different insights and energies and healing. So this is like a reinforcement to say like, yes, you are going through very, very tough times, you know, you're going through very, very dark times, and maybe like parts of your mind, parts of yourself that you didn't even know they were there. But definitely keep in mind, like, that is the path of the shaman, you know? Like, you need to be able to be like this amazing healer or this amazing person with so much power. Like, you first need to go through this. So I would say, again, just know that this is all part of your path. Like, this is all meant to happen. And just, like, don't be scared, even though it is, like, very, very tough. But I see that you're very blessed. And you have the compassionate Pele in reversed. Okay, so Pele is a Hawaiian volcano goddess, and many people usually, this is also very cute that you got this when you got the high priestess, because she's also seen as someone very dark, and a lot of people are afraid of her because she is a volcano goddess. So people are like usually just like afraid to like interact with her, but she's actually very, very compassionate, and she has a lot of healing energy. So I see that in your life you're definitely like integrating a lot of darkness, but just like know that you have these guides. And I would definitely recommend, if you resonate with any of these cards, to like Google what these things mean, and like who this is, so you can get a little bit more of information on how to get guidance. But other than that, like, I see that you are someone who has a very, like, you have a path, you know, you're on a mission. And I really, really wish you the best on your healing path towards this. And I think you got this. I would say that what you need to work on is just like being willing to see the positive things and being able to have hope, and just like knowing that everything that is happening it's happening because it was obstructing your path in some way. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing or watching other videos, and thank you so much for trusting me to do your reading and sharing your time with me. Alright, pile number 2, welcome to your reading. This is your space just for you, so please just sit back, relax, and let's get into it. First, I'm just gonna set these two to the side for the end of your reading for extra insight, but I'm just gonna start out with a tarot. Okay, so let's go. Oh, the Devil. Okay, so this is a card that a lot of people tend to be scared of, but it's like, okay, so this is always, people like to say like, pay attention to the good news of the devil, right? So the devil tends to be about a situation that you feel you're trapped into, but usually like, no, like usually it's very like he has very like loose straps on his hands, so the people here could easily get away if they wanted to, but they usually feel like they are trapped. So that's usually the archetype that the devil is trying to communicate. So, but obviously, like, this is a very, very dark energy that people are going through, and most of the time it just looks that way, but there is more information to it. So let's get to that extra information. Okay, so let's see. Okay, 3 of Wands. So it seems that the devil thing that you are having to deal with, and this is a card that usually talks about addictions too, you know, like that sort of thing that has you like inside a vicious cycle that you feel like you can't really get out because everything that you do is kind of like just making you cycle inside of it. So what I see here that has to do with the devil that you're healing, this is a card, it has to do a lot with self-esteem, you know, like 3, the 3rd chakra. I see that you are a person who is actually very creative, but you feel a little bit stuck in your ability to tap into it, you know, because you are being like overshadowed by this devil energy when it comes to your self-esteem and your ideas of your self-worth and everything that has to do with that. So 6 of Cups. Okay, so this energy has been present to you ever since your childhood. So this is a card a lot about like childhood nostalgia and everything that has to do with that. So I would say that right now, the things that you need to integrate in your life are energies that have been with you since you were a kid. So you've been doing maybe a lot of inner child work, or like remembering a lot of things, and like maybe like reintegrating things that you didn't really have time to think about before about your childhood, and until now you have time to like stop and think about that for a second. So I see that your self-worth issues were all things that like they've been with you for a while, you know, and maybe that's why you feel like it's not only a bad energy, it feels like it's a devil energy. It might feel to you like it's bigger but it's really not, because it just seems bigger and so big because you've been dealing with that since when you were a kid, right? And to a kid, like, everything seems bigger. So I would say that a good news in this healing process is gonna be to realize that you could look into another perspective, you know, because a lot of the issues you had seen, you have continuously made them bigger inside your head because you've been dealing with them for so long that maybe you feel like you're gonna be trapped in this forever. But what I see here is that you're a very creative person, you know? So I would say, like, maybe, like, tap into that creativity, and let's see what. Okay, yes. Yes, that's it. You know, you are the queen. You're not only creative, you are the queen of creativity. Or you have, like, a certain, like, a very, this is definitely, yeah, you're definitely a very creative person. Or if not, like, as I always say with the cards, this could either represent you or it could represent an ancestor or a guide. So you definitely have a lot of, like, fiery, creative energy available to you, which is really, really awesome for someone who already, like, has that tendency. But you have that part blocked, you know, so it's gonna be very important to heal that part. And yeah, okay, Queen of Cups. So you're not also very creative, you are also very emotional, which those two tend to go hand in hand, you know. But what I see here is that since you have a very, very rich emotional life, this could also be creating, like, why you are being so stuck in your nostalgia, and why you're being, like maybe why you're being affected by addiction, or why you're being affected by cycles. So I would say that this is also very, very important to keep in mind, you know, like being able to balance, like, the light and the dark side within you, because that is such an important thing. To be able to be, like, a very, very creative person, you usually have to be someone who isn't afraid to tap into, like, your deeper emotions. And from what I see here is you're not really a person who's very afraid of tapping into, like, the darker sides of life, and, like, maybe you're even kind of, like, gothic or emo. Okay, so, oh, Four of Wands. Okay, yeah, so from what I see here, the Four of Wands, okay, so remember here you have the Three of Wands. This is a natural progression of being able to integrate these energies, like being able to tap into your inner Queens of Wands and of Cups. So these are obviously, like, feminine leaning energies. This could also mean that this could mean that either that you are rejecting, like your potential for a more feminine leaning type of energy, or that it could be talking about you, or it could be talking about a prominent person in your life, you know. So you could either be getting help for people who actually represent these people in your life, you know, like either a queen when it comes to creativity, or a Queen of Cups. But what I see is this is like, either way, you are a person who is very emotional and creative, and these are things that you are gonna be able to integrate, and that is why you are going right now through this very hard process, because you are going to be able to, at some point, like, you know how she's just, like, here, like, dancing happily, you know, like, everything's balanced, the pyramid, like, she's able to channel so much energy. So I feel that it has to do with that, you know, like, being able, when you're able to balance, when you're able to have, like, your roots in place, because 3 is also a very scattered energy card, right? So the number 3 is, yes, it's a lot about creativity, but it's also a lot about, like, explosive creativity. So with this, I say that you're gonna be able to channel it into something more structured, and that is gonna be very important for your healing path. And the 10 of Pentacles. With this card, okay, so this is a really cute card. So I definitely see that you're a very, like, you're I don't want to say, like, a fantasy person, but you like that sort of thing of, like, maybe you like to write, or you like to think about, like, other worlds, and you are like, you tap a lot into your imagination, because this card is also very related to happy endings. So this is usually what we associate with the, like, happy ever after. Like, you're, like, the physical manifestation of it. So you're not only just gonna, like the process that you're going through, it's not only gonna bring you closer to like general happiness, it's gonna bring you closer to like physical financial happiness if you are able to. Okay, so you definitely need structure from what I see here. So if you are able to understand the lessons that you have here that have to be related to your childhood, you know, and how that is connected to like the dark things that you're going through right now, if you're able to really understand that process and what it means for you personally, and you're able to master your creativity and your emotions, I see for you a very good news, to be honest. Like, this is a very good card to get, especially if you are doubting if you're ever gonna have like your happy ending, you know what I mean? So I would say that definitely know that it's waiting for you there. This is a card of very good news and a card of completion. So you might either like be already close to completing all of this process, and the healing part would be like just like reflect on it and make sure. And when I say reflect, I also mean maybe use your creativity, you know, maybe write about it, maybe make art about it, because you're definitely approaching the finish line to something very important, and it's gonna definitely be super beneficial if you're a creative person to be able to make something out of it. Okay. And the extra cards that we're getting here are the Trinity. So this card, since it also includes a child, it's also about like inner child. I would say that it's gonna be definitely very important to look into this, to look into like some of the struggles you had in your childhood that made you very wary about having self-esteem and about your self-worth. That is gonna be super important. And I would say that like definitely do some inner child work, because it's gonna do wonders for whatever you're dealing with right now, because you're a person who is being in charge. You have like one of your like most important missions right now is that you're gonna be someone who is integrating very maybe even opposing energies in their life, and you're the product of it, you know. You're the kid of two polar opposites in a way. So this could look in many ways, right? But definitely the key to tap into that and to unlock the potential would be to look into your childhood and do some inner child work. That is going to be super important. So maybe like learn how to have fun again, you know, or do things that maybe you as a child you were very into, like stories. So maybe like go back to reading some of those stories that you liked, or some of the art that you like consuming then, to kind of like remember what you used to like when it came to art, because I really want you creating art. Okay, so okay, these are Apsara's hands. I would definitely still, like I said to the pile before, to definitely Google these concepts. I would still recommend that, to just like, if you're curious about these, like what these are, because it would give you a lot of extra guidance. But this card is basically a lot about completion, you know, like you are all like, these are 9 hands. So 9 is a number about like getting to the end of a cycle, you know. So you're definitely going through right now a moment of completion. What you're the thing you're healing, like you already went through the things. Like right now your healing process is more about integration and what to do about it, you know. And both of these cards are 7 cards, like they add up to 7. So I would say that the number 7 is gonna be very influential in your life in some way. Either you're a life path 7 in numerology, or you have 7 somewhere in your chart, or you're just like during your personal 7 year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I would really recommend Googling that, like 7 in numerology, or what your personal year is. Because that is gonna be very important. I definitely see a lot of 7 energy here, which is also about the number of truth and investigating. As I said, like maybe do some research back about the things that you used to like, or you know, to like boost up your creative process. But I definitely see that in a lot of beautiful feminine energy, that it could be either that you're that you feel very identified with, or that you have been rejecting and you kind of need to integrate it, you know. But yes, they're here to support you, and I'm here to support you too. And I really want to know the art that you're doing or that you're gonna do. So thank you so much. So much for watching. Please consider subscribing or watching other videos, and thank you so much for trusting me to do your reading and sharing your time with me. Okay, hello pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is just for you, so please just sit back and relax as we get to it. I'm gonna leave this sacred geometry cards to the side for the end, and I'm just gonna start with the tarot. Okay, so first off, 3 of Swords. Okay, so this is a card that is definitely about heartbreak. You know, like this is, to me, straightforward. What word I associate with it? Heartbreak. This is a card about intellectualizing our emotions. So people, like, we normally, like, we're supposed to, or whatever, like, we feel our emotions through everything that has to do with feeling. A person who has a lot of 3 of Swords energy in their life is someone who tends to, instead of feeling their feelings, just like rationalize or try to intellectualize outside of their emotions, which in the end leads to heartbreak because their emotions feel a little bit ignored and like invalid. So there's that. And then also 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so it's not only about heartbreak, like emotional heartbreak, but you're also going through a bit of a rough patch when it comes to abundance and like financial wellness. It seems like you're going through like a drought when it comes to that, you know, like you don't feel like you're a person who gets a lot of recognition for the things they do. You feel like kind of like in ruins, you know, like you try to harvest things, but you were only able to harvest like a little bit of all the things that you had planted. I would say that the good news from this card is that you still get to harvest something, and you still have something to work with, you know, but you're definitely going through like a very rough patch from what I see here. And then we also have the 9 of, okay, so you are definitely, this is like definite, okay, confirmation, you are going through a very, very rough patch, a very difficult situation. From the piles, I can see that you are someone, like, someone who has to heal a little bit more than most, maybe. The 9 of Swords tends to be about betrayal, and it could be betrayal because of your ideas, you know, like maybe you're someone who has like unconventional ideas and you feel like you're being kind of like persecuted for them in a way. So you're definitely a person who feels like they're right now in a victim position. They have been victimized, or just like feel like a victim, because there's a lot of like situations that have gathered to make you feel this way. So I don't know if you've been like recently like literally backstabbed by someone, you know, there's a card about that, but those are part of why you're feeling this way, why you're feeling very disappointed with what you've harvested, why you're feeling a little bit heartbroken, and like why you aren't really allowed to feel the things that you're feeling. Yeah, definitely I see that you're someone who tends to like that tends to hide away their emotions a little bit, like in fear that they're maybe not very appropriate or something. Okay. 3 of Cups. Okay, so this card, it's in reverse, right? So normally this is a card about like bliss and like pleasure and happiness. I see that again, this is upside down in your life, so you definitely have a lot to heal right now. So I would say like dude, definitely give it a rest, you know, like be patient with yourself. You definitely are going through a lot. Like this is confirmation that maybe like you're someone who doesn't like to admit that they're going through a rough patch. I would say like right now, yes, confirmation, you are going through a very difficult, tough situation, and you should maybe be a little bit more compassionate with yourself and allow yourself to process all these feelings, you know, like stop for a little while and like acknowledge what you're going through. This also, I also like to call this the lesbian card. So maybe I don't know, maybe your shame and everything could be related to your sexuality in some way, or something that has to do with that, or with like maybe you're a woman who has difficulty in her relationships with other women, not necessarily like in a lesbian way, but in a like friendship way. You've been maybe backstabbed by your girlfriends. Or if it doesn't have to do with that, in general, if that doesn't resonate, it has to do with shame, you know? You're feeling blocked from your bliss. You feel like it's very, very difficult to access your happiness, to access your pleasure. And I would say that a lot of that has to do with this, you know? Like normally people who intellectualize emotions, they do so like as a survival mechanism because they don't want to bother other people, or they don't want to, you know, they don't want to be like an obstacle to other people. But the thing is that once you're blocking, like once you stab away your heart for having feelings, like that doesn't only include the bad feelings, you know, you're also blocking yourself away from feeling any sort of happiness and pleasure, you know. So there is definitely a downside to blocking your emotions and not being willing to feel them. Not all of them are bad, you know, like maybe you're someone who's very afraid of feeling their feelings, of their emotions, because when they've tried that, it usually brings to this, like to unfulfillment or like disappointment. But I would say that there's definitely going to be a very important, like remember, this is in the context of your healing. And for you to be able to heal, you first need to acknowledge that the things you're going through, you know, and the things and the patterns you're kind of stuck living in your life. So you got here the Three of Pentacles. This is a very positive card actually after all of this. So what I see here like is that the universe is kind of saying like, yes, you've gone through all of this, but also you are going to get the recognition that you crave so much, right? So here you're like, okay, I reaped maybe not everything that I wanted, not all the benefits that I was hoping for, but like keep in mind that you did reap something, that you did get something, and you will eventually get more of where that came from. You are going to get the recognition that you deserve. But keep in mind that this recognition can't really come into your life, because imagine if it did come right now. Like imagine if this recognition did come in right now and you're in this situation emotionally, you're not even gonna be able to have fun with it, you know? If your bliss, if your pleasure is blocked, this is gonna come to you, the recognition and everything, and you're not even gonna be able to feel happy about it. And so you're gonna go back to this, you know, you're gonna go back to like, oh, then I'm heartbroken because I don't even, like, I got what I wanted and it wasn't enough to make me happy, you know. So it's very, very important to heal this part of your life to be able to get this, you know, because you do deserve recognition. You're someone who has worked very hard in life, and you deserve to get what is there out for you, you know. I definitely see abundance here, but you really, really need to acknowledge the situation you're going through. You're not gonna get it anywhere if you, and sorry for the tough love, but really, like, I'm saying this to you because I can tell that you're a person who can deal with a lot, you know. You can deal with the tough language, so I'm just like being very straightforward with you. You need to really, really understand and just like sit back and see your situation and know that you have gone through a lot, and you deserve to heal, and you deserve to go through this process and whatever you need, you know, because this is gonna be so important to get whatever it is that you want, and to be able to get outside of this cycle, you know. And then, okay, Temperance. Okay, so I see that maybe a lot of the suffering you're going through, a lot of the things, is because you are someone who tends to go to extremes. You know, like you're someone who's not afraid to go to the extreme parts of life, and maybe because of that you have ended up like being backstabbed or being betrayed, or like people don't really want to hear what you have to say or things like that. So this card is asking you, like, as part of your healing process, to learn to find the middle ground. Not necessarily like stop being so extremist. If you're a person who feels more comfortable in the extremes, I'm not gonna stop you from that, but definitely learn how to, like, when to go to each extreme, you know, and like be able to hold space for both of them inside of you and not go just to one or the other, you know. A person who needs to integrate extremes into their life because they like extremes, it's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. But you definitely, to be successful in that mindset or in that way of being, you're gonna have to be able to be someone who can hold both inside of them at the same time. And that is what this card is asking of you, okay? So maybe also right now, since you're going through such a tough time, you feel like it's extremely bad. Like everything is in the ruin, everything is bad. So this card is asking you, like, hey, no, like just try to like understand that that you are someone who tends to go to the extremes sometimes, maybe, and just like be a little bit more mindful and take care, you know. The Emperor. Okay, so as I said, like, I wouldn't be too worried that you like to go to the extremes. As I said, I think that you are someone who is able to handle them clearly, but to be able to reach this like Emperor status when it comes to it, you are going to have to be someone who knows how to handle them, someone who knows how to bring balance into their life, okay? So this card is also a lot about abundance and about like getting what you want and being someone of high status. So also remember that people who tend to be in higher positions are also people who have gone through a lot in their life. So just like keep in mind that this process that you're going through, like, it's just because you can handle that much, you know. You're that strong, and you're the Emperor, you know. Like you can handle all of this. You're someone who can handle a lot of things. So for that, I want to say, like, wow, like, you are so strong and so brave. But also, please take care of yourself, and please recognize that you have gone through a lot, and don't ignore that just because you're so afraid of your feelings, and just because you're so afraid of like getting backfired for expressing your emotions, you know. Like, if you're scared of what other people are gonna say about the way you feel or whatever, that's fine. But you shouldn't be afraid of to express your feelings inside of your own self, you know? You shouldn't be afraid to feel the feelings that you have, because you should trust yourself, you know? Like, maybe other people have disappointed you, maybe other people haven't reacted the way you expected about something, but keep in mind that that's not a good enough reason to conceal your feelings, you know, because you can express your feelings inside yourself without having to tell anyone, and it's fine, you know. You are someone you can trust, or as your healing process, you could keep that as a mantra, you know, that you are someone yourself that you can trust, and like work on ways in which you can feel more confident in yourself and like trust yourself a little bit more. Okay, so you have gratitude here in reverse. So this card is it's such a cute card. It's definitely about completion too. So and kind of like the flowers that come after the storm, you know. You're someone who's not afraid of like all the different facets of life, and that is super amazing. But I would also say that, like, right now, since gratitude is in reverse, maybe you haven't tapped into your full potential to be this person, and maybe as part of your healing, like, add a little bit of gratitude into your life, you know. Like, do little like gratitude rituals, like, or maybe like at the end of each day or every morning, you can think about the things that make you grateful or journal about them. That would be super helpful in your healing journey toward the things that you have gone through, you know, because sometimes when you're going through so many tough things, it's hard to be grateful of the things that you have reaped. As I said, you know, it's hard to be grateful and to understand that, like, it's not all bad things, you know, because you are going through a lot. And then the other card that that appeared with you is the tetrahedron. This cards of the sacred geometry. I have been telling people to Google them, like Google what this figure means, because it's gonna be super important. So from what I see here is that you're going through right now like a moment that you're gonna really have to understand what you're going through, because it is a symbol. The tetrahedron is a symbol of action and understanding, and it's a very masculine symbol, and I also am getting like very fiery, very masculine symbol, and also the emperor. So you're someone who really needs to tap into right now like that masculine fiery energy and have a little bit of ambition, you know, like know that the things that you're going through, yes, they're tough, but it's because you are gonna be able to handle that much if you know what to do with it, you know. Don't put off your decisions. Now is the time to seek a greater understanding and assurance. The path that you're going through is definitely gonna end up reaping the results, even if you have been disappointed until now. What I see from your reading is that you have been disappointed for a reason, and is that you have made an enemy out of your feelings. So definitely, if you're able to change your attitude when it comes to that, I see that you are, yes, you can do this. You know, you're a person. This figure really supports it supports inspiration and passion, and it directs you to your path, you know? So remember to listen to your inner guidance and light some fire in your life, you know? Like, yes, you are the emperor. You can do this. And I wish you so much luck on your path. So much for watching. Please consider subscribing or watching other videos, and thank you so much for trusting me to do your reading and sharing your time with me. Hello, pile number 4. Please feel very welcome to your reading, and remember this space is just for you, so just like relax and enjoy the reading. And I'm gonna first set these two to the side for the end to get some extra insight and start out with a tarot. Okay, so first off, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so you are someone who has recently gone through some like physical ruin in a way, you know, either through illness, and like it wouldn't surprise me right now since we're going through, like, I want to make these readings timeless, but in the moment that I made this reading, like, we are going through a pandemic and like 2 very tough times when it comes to that. So I would say that maybe you've also been like recently, this is gonna sound a little dark, but like maybe you've been very aware of your own mortality lately, and that has made you want to like get a little bit more sheltered and I was gonna say like and stay inside a little bit maybe but that phrase, we've been hearing it so much, like stay inside, but maybe you are like, besides all that, someone who has been feeling like they don't want to, like, even if they had the opportunity to go outside, maybe you don't really feel like that. You would rather stay sheltered right now because you are going through you're going through a tough situation, and that's why you're here, right? Because you want a little bit of healing that has to do with that. Okay, so let's see what else. 10 of Swords, but it's in reverse. So I would say that, okay, you went through a very tough time. This card usually talks about like mental illness or like major like emotional problems, but it's in reverse. So I would say that you've already, like, this is something that already passed or is about to finish passing, you know, and that's also maybe why you want to be like alone and isolated a little bit, you know, to like really finish integrating everything that happened, because it was a lot, and until now you're having the time to really process what you went through, because yes, it seems like it was a very rough thing that you had to deal with. So Princess of Swords in reverse. So with this, I would say that you're someone maybe who tends to have a bit of a very sharp tongue. You're someone who has very fixed ideas, And this could mean either that right now you are not being able to tap into them very much. You feel like in reverse, you feel like it's been very tough for you to make decisions or to really know what you want, when you are usually someone who would have the potential to actually be someone who is very, very decided. But right now, this is an energy that feels in reversed. So it could also be placing a little bit more priority to the mind, instead of the feelings, you know, like maybe you've been like more in a like defensive situation, like ready to attack, instead of being more understanding and all that, because you have been going through a lot. Like it makes sense that you would want to be a little bit that way, you know, like right now you feel like that it like kind of everyone is kind of like out to get you, and that's also why you want to stay like inside and isolated for a little bit. This is definitely an energy that I see happening here with your reading. You also have the Six of Swords. So I see, like, as I said, that this is off character of you. Like, you're normally very good at having your ideas in place. You're normally very good with your words and making decisions. You can also be somewhat of an intellectual, so maybe keep that in mind. Like, I can definitely see here that you're someone who is interested in maybe even health, because this look like the health symbol. So you're someone who is interested in everything that has to do with that, you know, like higher knowledge. And maybe you haven't been able, since you had been going through a lot and very rough like emotional and mental situations, you haven't been able to really use your mind. I see that you're a very, very smart person, so it's kind of like a bit tragic that you haven't been able to tap into everything that you can do, you know, because right now your mind doesn't really feel like your best friend. But I see here that you're definitely someone who has the potential to be that, you know, that you have the potential to be very smart and have very clear ideas. So with this, I see that, you know, that you feel a little bit disconnected from the sources of knowledge that normally make you feel interested in, that normally make you feel curious about. But I also see, maybe since you're like, since this already passed, maybe you're actually, this has been something that you have been tapping into lately, or you're about to, or you feel curious, you know, like this is definitely a card where I see that there's a lot of curiosity going on. So maybe that's also something going on, right? That you feel curious about maybe certain ideas, and you feel like a newbie when it comes to a new type of knowledge, and that's also why you feel a little bit ashamed to be sharing that already with the world, because it's hard for you to feel like a newbie in this field when it's normally something that you would either feel like you're already a master of, or it's something that you know you could be, you know, but you still have to go through this patch where there's a lot of there's a lot of indecision and a lot of unknown information, you know, like we don't really know what's gonna happen. You don't really know what's your next move or anything, because everything is changing so quickly. And I definitely see that is something that is happening in your life, right? You're changing direction, and because of that you feel a little bit unstable. Maybe you feel a little bit ungrounded. But yes, this is also confirmation to that. Like, you are someone who definitely has a lot of like air sign energy, and everything that has to do with knowledge. You seem to be like a very quick-witted person. You seem to be someone who is usually very good with their words. And I would say that would be a very important part of your healing process. See how you can connect with being that person again. Like, I don't know if you like to write, or if you like to journal maybe, or things that have to do with words, you know, reading maybe. I feel like that is going to be a very important part of getting yourself back, right? But I think this is okay, you know. It's okay to want to be sheltered. It's okay to want to be alone for a little bit. I don't feel like that is necessarily a bad thing. Like, you have been going through very difficult situations, and when you have recently finished going through something so tough, it is normal to want to go through a restoration period. So I would say, like, yes, like, take this moment for yourself and to reconnect with all of those like higher knowledge and things that interest you. That is definitely going to be very important for you. And then the Princess of Pentacles. Yes, so as I said, I feel like right now you feel very influenced by the unknown. You feel even a little bit scared about what's gonna happen next, what's your next step. And so with this in mind, with the Princess of Pentacles, I would say like it's gonna be very important to feel grounded, you know, to feel like you have a home wherever it is that you are now. That like what does home mean to you, you know, because that is also going to be a very important question in this next stage of your life. To be able to feel grounded, to be able to feel like you can put your roots somewhere, that is going to be super, super important to be able to heal during this process. And then in the end, we have the King of Pentacles. So to me, the King of, like, you have a lot of confirmation here of what I said about swords. You have like 2 court cards about the swords, and you have 2 court cards about pentacles. So I can, since you got 2 of these, I'm gonna also say that maybe a problem that you have been dealing with is that you can be a little bit of a workaholic, you know. And I don't necessarily mean this when it comes to like a work thing that you're getting money out of. You could just be like generally someone who tends to prioritize like intellectual and work before fun and things like that. But since it's pentacles and all, it could also involve the things you do for money. So maybe you have been a little bit of a workaholic, and maybe the situation you're going through has affected you in that way, because now that you haven't really been able to concentrate in your work, you're having to concentrate in all of the like reintegrating that you have to do of the like mental illness or the fear that you were going through for some time. So yeah, like part of your healing would be like, don't be such a workaholic, like also learn how to relax and like feel rooted, you know, like how to feel like you belong somewhere. That is also going to be a very important part of you. But I see in general, I see that if you are able to if you are able to tap into that and get a little bit more rooted, you are going to be able to get what you want. You know, you're the king of this, you got it. Like you are going to be able to be, and you're so smart too, so you're going to be able to get everything that you want, all of the things like financially, if you get organized, if you get rooted. This is gonna be the moment for you. But definitely don't like trust your hurt feelings that want to rest. I would say that they are very important. And I am so proud of you for being able to like overcome the thing that you did. So yeah, like you got this. Okay. And okay. So we got here from the Sacred Geometry, piercing the veil. So okay, so as we said, like recently you were going through a thing, and maybe you are now seeing clarity through that situation, because this card is about like you're going through a very, very tough time, and instead of getting lost in it, it seems like you were able to pierce through it, you know. And I see a lot of that energy through all the swords card. You know, you're someone who is resilient, who is able to, like, when the situation gets very tough, you know how to fight. You know, you're a fighter in a way. And I see here that you're definitely gonna be able to make something out of this. And I definitely see the financial here. Like, you are going to be able, like, your work life is gonna be fine. You are the king. Like, you're gonna be fine. Like, don't be such a workaholic, because I see a lot of energy here that you, like, the thing that you want to do, like, in the end, it's gonna be fine. So in your healing process, those are things that I would recommend. And, like, tap into this. You know, you're a fighter, and tap into, like, okay, what is it with your wits and with your extra knowledge that could make a bright situation out of the things you have gone through. And to end, we have the card that is receiving, and this is a very important card when it comes to, I again see like a lot of like healer energy, like with here, that I was like, maybe you're a doctor, or I don't know, because I see like the health symbols, and like because this is a DNA, and like she seems to have a lot of like that green health energy. So this is a card that has to do a lot with new ways of thinking, and like in general, like universal awakening and shifting to new ways of thinking. So yes, you're maybe someone who is going through a something that has to do with that, you know, or since you're so smart, maybe you could guide us a little bit into making that shift, you know, since you seem to be a person who would normally be very grounded and very earthy, but you need to heal that part. And I would say, like, connect to that part of you, connect to the earth, to your roots. That is going to be very important. And learn how to receive, you know, like, since you work so hard, and I don't want to call you a workaholic, but you work so hard, and that is so great, because that's why you're the King of Pentacles. But you also have to learn how to receive, you know, you have to learn how to get pampered. So I would say that's gonna be a very important part of your healing, you know, learn how to be pampered, see where you're blocking, because this is also a card of, like, the opposite of abundance, you know, you feel a little bit, like your finances aren't the best, and you don't feel like you're being very like recognized in that way. So I would say that maybe a very important part for that is going to be being able to be open to receiving, you know. Where are you resisting abundance? What are your attitudes when it comes to money? What are your attitudes when it comes to letting other people, like, pay for you, or letting other people pamper you? Those are going to be very important themes for you to heal all these energies. And I wish you so much luck in your path. It seems like you're someone who is very level-headed. You're gonna get through this. You're gonna know what's up, and just, like, embrace the darkness, embrace the unknown for now, because later, like, you're gonna be able to get right on track with no problem. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing or watching other videos, and thank you so much for trusting me to do your reading and sharing your time with me.